I'm so thrilled to be joined by my next guest. You will know him as one of the contenders for Match of the Year this year, and we'll get into that, but also the current reigning, defending Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Chad Gable. Chad, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. It's a true honor to have the opportunity of talking with you. Little known fact, we were supposed to speak a couple of years ago, but
Okay.
The Wyatt, it was just after the Wyatt family had gotten to you, and quite frankly, we weren't sure if you were dead. So I'm thrilled to
Was it
know.
this one?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. One of those things that would be hard to forget.
Talk about a comeback story, man. How did I
I'm
even make it through that?
Right, right. So, I'm thrilled to be chatting with you. I think you're extremely talented. You're absolutely one of the top performers in WWE. And right now, so let me tie in my love of movies. Right now, as we're doing this interview in the theaters, there's this movie that's playing called The Odyssey. I would argue that your character has been on somewhat of an odyssey over the last year, and I was wondering if you could tell the good people about that.
That's a fantastic way to put it. Yeah, it's funny how this business works, wrestling itself. You never know what's going to work out, what's not going to work out, what's going to surprise us, and what people are going to really latch on to. And I think that's been the story of, especially the last year and a half or 2 years. The El Grande Americano thing, started just as me wanting to kind of put more into a story that I was already involved with these luchadors, and I
Hmm.
wanted to take it to another level. This was my idea of donning this mask and like my way to try to elevate this story, not knowing where it was going to take me, career wise. And you never really can predict stuff like that. And then on top of that, the injuries. So for those that don't know, I had a shoulder surgery, rotator cuff was torn, bicep tendon, all kinds of stuff that I had to have repaired that forced me to go away. And again, it's circumstantial. Who knows where we'd be right now if all of these elements had not just turned out the way they did. Somebody else took over the El Grande Americano gimmick and they were doing it while I was hurt. I come back and now we've got a built-in story there. And it is, like you said, a bit of an odyssey and a journey we had to go through, like I would call it valleys and peaks and lows and things like that to get here. But now where I'm at, it's almost like, man, I couldn't have written it any better than it turned out.
Hmm.
I feel very fortunate in that aspect.
No, absolutely, and we're thrilled. We're thrilled that you're back. So on behind the scenes, of course, you're dealing with the injury and trying to get yourself better. But then on screen, your character has this kind of like this I don't want to say disgust, but not really appreciating the luchador style of wrestling. And then you've kind of done this whole 180 where now you're one of its biggest champions. And I think that was also great in the sense of obviously WWE has AAA as well. So now it's showing one of the main people on their roster going over and embracing this new brand, which also gets more eyes on it. I mentioned earlier about you being in a contender for match of the year this year. I was wondering if you could talk about that match that you had earlier this year that people are absolutely still talking about.
Uh, the most, I mean, it's just still so humbling to hear guys like you say that to me all the time. I had so many of my peers tell me what that match meant to them, that it moved them in a way that they haven't felt in a long time emotionally, as far as wrestling goes. We get so, I think, caught on our own hamster wheel sometimes in wrestling because we're just like going, going, going in the routine and on the road and traveling that we sometimes even get lost in the fact that of what we're doing, and I had so many peers and people tell me, man, that made me feel like I did when I was a little kid. It reminded me what I love about wrestling that match. And it's like, I could not be paid any higher compliment, I don't think, than to have people tell me it made them feel something because
Hmm.
we're at a point now in wrestling where it's just the athleticism, the technical prowess of everybody that's involved. Everybody's good. Everybody's a good
Hmm.
wrestler. And now we have some of the like most elite athletic wrestlers of all time doing things we would have never dreamed of. So now you have to find a different way to resonate and reach the people. And that's storytelling is the way to do it. We accomplished something that night and it really meant something to me.
No, absolutely. And to your point, I mean, everybody's very good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be with the top brand that there is. There are a lot of things that make a WWE superstar, successful. In-ring talent, absolutely. Being very good on the mic, absolutely. But you touched on something, the emotional connection, being able to have people invested in what you're doing. And I feel that's what you've been doing pretty much since you've come on. Your character has gone through has gone through many different phases, and I think that's great because you can't always be the same thing. And
Sure.
I just love that you roll with everything, and not only that you roll with everything, but that you excel at everything. Where does that aspect of you come from? Is it just like the performer within you, just being, very coachable? Like, tell me about that, because not everybody can do that.
Sure. You nailed a great word there when you said coachable. And I think a lot of that goes back to my amateur wrestling days. And I've credited that a lot with my ability to kind of see things through character wise, even if it's something that, I mean, quite transparently, I wasn't always on board with as far as like you think of things like Shorty G and these aspects of my career that I'm not the proudest of, but I forced myself to say, we're gonna we're gonna see this through because had I given up in my amateur wrestling career when things got hard, I would have never found myself on the Olympic team. I would have never found national championships. That's a different avenue because it's very much the return on investment as far as hard work and diligence in amateur wrestling is so obvious. The harder you work and the more diligent you are, you're gonna get it back. Now, in pro wrestling and WWE and pro wrestling in general, it doesn't necessarily work the same way. I mean, you still have to do your diligence and your hard work that goes into it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get this instant payoff or these instant results like you would in amateur sports. You kind of have to set your standards on it's about the journey, hoping that someday it's going to pay off because some of the decisions here, some things are out of your control, and you have to accept that. So it was just me having to learn, you know, keep everything you learn in amateur wrestling, work ethic wise and tenacity wise, but understand that it's going to take a lot longer here and accept that.
Love that. Appreciate that. Now, of course, WWE is getting ready to make its triumphant return to Canada. Multiple dates: Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, London. Of course, right here in the nation's capital of Ottawa, for what turns out to be what I'll call a two-for. We're getting a Monday Night Raw as well as SmackDown. So for people who
Nice.
bought tickets thinking they're going to see one show, guess what? You get to see two. I always love to ask this question because who better to answer it than somebody in your position? What can people who have never experienced WWE live before, what are they in for?
Oh man. Now, without sounding pretentious here, it is the best combination of every form of entertainment that you could really get in one building at one time, right? You go to a concert, it's going to be great. You're going to get your favorite singer, you're going to hear their music, and it's going to be awesome. Or you go to a basketball game or something, you're going to get the sports and the athletics. It's going to be great. When you come to our show, you get everything under one roof. You get the performance, you get the athleticism, you get people talking crap, you get the music, you get pageantry, you get it's just everything rolled into one. And I really don't think there's another avenue in the world that does what we do that where you can get that, in one bit. And it's family friendly. I always like to say that because I have three kids as well. So this stuff's important to me. We've uh taken such an approach with our product that, man, you can bring your grandma to this show and you can bring your 2-year-old to this show and be totally fine either way. It's the greatest show on earth, man.
No, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And one of the things I really appreciated about it is, of course, there are people that I know that are core WWE fans and will absolutely be there front and center. But
Sure.
then there are the first timers, and what I really appreciate is looking at the face of those first timers as they're blown away by the pyro, by the performances, by
Yes.
how well produced it is. Because of course this is live television, so everything's to
Yes.
the second, and just how incredibly well this is all put together.
Yeah, it's pretty mind blowing if you watch like our crew and stuff that we have put together these shows every week, and the fact that we don't have an off season and they do it week after week, multiple times a week. It's the scale of it all will blow your mind, and when you get there and you get to see it presented, it's just unbelievable.
No, absolutely. Okay, well, listen, I want to be respectful of the time, but I do want us to drift into a little thing I like to call rapid fire. Gonna hit you with
Sure.
a couple of fun questions. First question of rapid fire is always, what Chad Gable is your favorite movie of all time? And if you can't think of one, I will take a top three.
Ooh, American Psycho. Patrick Bateman, the main character. I saw it when I was such a little kid, younger. I wouldn't say the little kid, but
I
young
was
enough
gonna
where I
say.
probably shouldn't have been watching it yet at that time. But it just stuck with me for some reason.
All right.
I have that poster in my gym. I love it. I don't know what, just craftsmanship that went into it. I love that movie.
Love that. If you were going to introduce somebody to WWE and say this is the match that you have to watch, what would that match be?
Oh man, I am always a fan of Brett versus Owen from WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
I just love the story they told, the fact that it's your brother versus brother, like, and the actual wrestling in the match is like top notch, like it's the best. You
Yeah.
can't beat it. But they got everything in there. They got the story, and everybody understands brothers, battling and butting heads and stuff like that. So I love that match.
Love that. I had the opportunity of speaking with somebody you know very well, Maxine Dupree, recently.
Sure.
Not gonna lie, she did a bit of the interview in character, and she said that Austin Theory is going to be coming for your title. Now,
Mm,
no way, shape, or form, trying to sound disrespectful or condescending to her, but I realize that you guys are all very supportive of your colleagues. How proud of you are you right now of Maxine and everything that she's doing?
yeah. She should check her attitude at the door, I think, lately with what she's been. But all that to say, man, what a soul that she was when I found her and we started working together. She's just like the definition of genuine human being. Like nothing there is when she was going through that phase where she was hungry and she was trying to learn and be her best, you were watching her learn on TV, at
Mhm.
week after week. That's one of the hardest things you could possibly do in this business is be like literally learning your craft in front of all these people on live TV, not spending all your time in the performance center fine-tuning everything in advance. She got thrown to the wolves, man, and she did great. And now to see her kind of leveling up and taking that next step character-wise, she went through a great series of matches with Becky Lynch. I remember watching last year when I was injured, and I was just so proud of her then. She did it, man. She put in the work, and it's paying off. I'm pretty happy for her.
Love that. Last
Yeah,
question. As you get ready to come back to Canada, what's something authentically Canadian that you're really looking forward to?
authentically Canadian. Well, the first time I ever had ketchup chips was in Canada, and those were pretty awesome. I
Nice.
usually do get a Tim Hortons coffee up there,
Yeah.
and you guys have a very good gym culture. I'm a huge fan of like very uniquely crafted gyms and gym spaces. And if you know where to look, you guys do it right up there. So I've got some spots picked out.
I love that you're like me. You always default to food.
Yeah, yeah.
Chad, it has been an absolute honor speaking with you. I mean that sincerely. As a lifelong WWE fan, I have watched everything that you've done. You're absolutely killing it right now. I wish you nothing but continued success. And thanks so much for the time today.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you having me.